So the new update has arrived, and with the new update we have received, I think, 3 different new platoons. And today I'll be taking a look at the new tier 9 Chieftain. Overall, this has been a long awaited platoon, and this is one of the more popular vehicles at the moment. So the Chieftain Mk.10 has a 120mm main gun. It is kind of on the slower side. 48 km/h is the top speed, reverse is 11 km/h, specific power is 13 horsepower per ton, weighs 57 tons for crew member, 315mm average penetration, reload 7.5 seconds, turret rotation speed is 23 degrees per second. Overall, this is a very well armored vehicle, probably one of the better armored vehicles that we have. Although in top tier we usually don't rely on armor, but I have bounced 80 GMs with this thing, and I've bounced a lot of shells as well. So let's see how this thing will play. Now the best part about the armor on Chieftain is definitely the turret. The turret is very, very thick. Of course, the weak spot in the turret is around the main gun. That's where you shoot this thing from the front. Of course, the lower plate is a weak spot as well, and around the driver's hatch is also a place where you can penetrate the Chieftain. Ammo-wise, it has APFS DS hash, and I believe it also has heat. I am using the AP ammo, of course, the best ammo that you can have in top tier at the moment, combined with a little bit of high explosive, in this case hash, in case I have to shoot at something lightly armored. And something lightly armored the CM25 is, so let's fall back. You are able to penetrate basically everything from the front using this vehicle, and honestly it is one of the more fun to drive vehicles at the moment, mostly because of how good the armor is. If you have hold down positions, you can take advantage of that turret. Hold down positions are kind of made for this thing, since the turret is so well armored. Okay, repair is finished. Let me go and get in position again. It doesn't have any explosive reactive armor, and to be honest it doesn't need that, since it already has a lot of armor by default. It is able to cut through basically any top tier tank. Should be able to cut through a mouse as well, although this vehicle should not be seeing any mouse because this is tier 9 and mouse is tier 7. Technically you could meet one, but I don't really think that I will see a mouse. It would be funny if I do, because the mouse should not be able to penetrate the frontal armor of this thing. It has a stabilized main gun. It can shoot on the move. Maybe if you're used to drive fast tanks, this tank is definitely going to be a little bit different speed-wise, because it's definitely not fast. It is not slow, but at the same time it's not fast as well. It is comparable to the shot Kalgimel when it comes to speed. I think it's just a little bit faster than the shot Kalgimel, so that's one, I guess, similarity between this vehicle and between some of the previous vehicles. So a Chieftain, and yeah, right in the lower plate. Now the ammo on this thing is stored very close to the midsection, below the turret, below the hull, although it has several different ammo positions. Usually if you want to hit the ammo on this vehicle, I recommend that you shoot the lower plate or between the turret and hull in the turret ring. That's also one weak spot where you can penetrate this from the front. Fairly sure you can use high explosive on the commander's hatch, although I haven't done that myself, but technically you should be able to be destroyed with a hit to the commander's hatch with a high explosive shell. But so far I do like the way this thing works, that's for sure. It can bounce AP, FS, and DS shells, by the way. It has a very good turret armor. But basically, if you want to penetrate this thing in a turret, you shoot it right around the main gun. That's where you can kill the gunner, the commander, the loader. And that's where you can also disable the gun, which is interesting on its own. Well, that was the first match. Let's go to the second one. Let's go to the second match. Now, how does this thing perform in a hull down position? Well, you should be going after hull down positions if you can, if you possibly can, because you want to take advantage of that turrets on this vehicle. So a perfect position for that is on this map, on this side, right around this little island over here. That's where I like to go, and this should be quite interesting. I'm very curious to see how well it would perform here. It has excellent gun depression, by the way. It can lower the gun quite a bit, so this position should be ideal for the Chieftain. I'm still being careful around 80 GMs, of course, but as I mentioned before, I actually bounced missiles with this thing somehow. But yeah, you can bounce missiles with the Chieftain. It is a low profile tank, and very good gun depression is kind of a dream, and this thing does fulfill that. So right here is the ideal position for this vehicle on this map. Now what do we have on the hill? What happened there? I have no idea. The shell just deflected and went up in the air. That's a VCC. They did damage my gun, but didn't do any other damage, because I think the VCC cannot penetrate the frontal armor of this thing. The VCC penetrates 300 kilometers, and this vehicle angled should have a lot more armor than that, so I should be good against small guns, small caliber guns. So far I do like the hull down position on the Chieftain. Let's see if I can bomb those vehicles on top of the hill. I dropped 2 bombs, and I will drop 2 more bombs in front. Well, I missed somehow. Okay, fair enough. Well, no kills, but I'm fairly sure at least I damaged some of them. Centauro, crew knocked out. That's a good hit. And there is a T-55A. I think the T-55A cannot penetrate the frontal armor on this thing, so how is that driver still alive? How is that driver still alive? It was a headshot with a 120mm gun, and the driver is still alive somehow, by some miracle. They added a reverse look on the aircraft, which is kind of interesting. We did not have that before, but now it has the reverse function. Somehow I did not kill anything, even though I dropped bombs on the hill. I actually expected at least one kill, but I guess not today. And that means we are definitely winning, so let me start move a little bit forward. So yeah, the hold on position on this thing is really good. Pretty happy with the Chieftain performance so far. This has the potential to be one of my more favorite vehicles. Definitely has the potential to be one of my favorite tanks in the game. So we will see how that will go. That was a fun match. That was a fun match. Let's go to the next one. So, this map. Well, the vehicle does play very similar to the Magach platoon in terms of speed. Definitely has a lot better armor than the usual vehicles that we have seen in tier 9 so far. I would actually say this might have the best armor out of any tier 9 vehicle. Doesn't have any explosive reactive armor, but it has a very good frontal sloped plate and has a very tough turret. Does have some machine guns, but those machine guns I haven't really noticed them being very useful, to be honest. However, it's good to have machine guns you're able to shoot down missiles and stuff like that. So, and they're also good against revenge bombers in some instances. T-55. Well, okay. Gunner has been killed. Well, it is not able to damage the track with the machine guns. Unfortunately, that's how it is. But it should be more than enough. That was a invisible little tank there. And that's one of the weak spots where I hit the other Chieftain. Basically, if you hit it above the frontal plate, around the driver's hatch, I believe, that's where the shell will go in, regardless of the angle, and it's very interesting. But if you hit the frontal plate, you have a good chance to bounce the target. However, it is still preferred to shoot the Chieftain in the lower plate, where the armor is not the thinnest, I guess, but if you want to penetrate, usually go for the lower plate. Also, Hash did no damage to a light tank. That's kind of pinnacle of bad luck, but okay. Should have been destroyed, but it isn't destroyed. And that was a Messerschmitt, one of the worst fighters you can get in top tier. When I get that vehicle, I just crash it. When I get the aircraft, I just crash it, because yeah, you're not gonna catch anything with that. And of course the game spawns me very far away from the bomber usually, so I think it's about time for me to go a little bit forward. Doesn't seem like there is anything else coming around the corner, and this position is really good for the Chieftain, since you can take advantage of that turret, which is, as I mentioned before, heavily armored. I forgot if this has composite armor. we'll have to check that. We'll have to check the detailed stats of the Chieftain. I forgot if it has composite armor. I would not be surprised if it does have composite armor, since this thing is very tough from the front. An elephant. That's going to be a very interesting tank to test out. Will be the next vehicle that I'll be using. Okay, that's one more vehicle destroyed. The main gun is so good on this thing. Probably one of the better guns in top tier at the moment. But very happy with the performance of the Chieftain. It's a very interesting tank. And I get a Messerschmitt. Isn't that just... that was what I was talking about. I get the worst aircraft. And slow bullets. Isn't that lovely as well? And I'm out of ammo. Yep, let's just crash this thing. Useless jet. Well, I was about to get revenge bombed. That's a fact. I was about to get revenge bombed, but they missed. Hold a second, is that vehicle going to pop up? I think they will be popping up here in a moment. And yep, they are. Destroyed the wheel, and okay, someone else got a kill. What is my vehicle doing? Did you see that? Instead of going forward, it was going left. That's a pinnacle of bad luck right there. Oh well, still a victory. So that was the Chieftain. Definitely a very good vehicle, and one of the better vehicles that's been added in the last couple of days. But with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to support me, feel free to like and subscribe. And with that being said, stay safe. As always, I'll see you next time.